Three, two, one. Hey guys, I'm Kevin,
I'm Diego.
And I'm Max.
and we're Baka Burrito. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the underrated greatness that is One Punch Man. Now, that's not to say that this isn't a popular anime or manga series. I'm just saying, personally, I think there are some things that go underappreciated.
Yeah, there are definitely some aspects of One Punch Man that no one talks about that I feel like are the forefront of what makes the series great, as opposed to just the animation in season one, and the concept of having a main character main character with quotation marks, having a main character that can one punch everything. So
actually, on that note, I would actually like to hear yours first, because if for the audience, this was actually Diego's idea, because after we did the discussion on manga art, and he and I were comparing panels from different.
Yeah.
Diego got really into the artwork from One Punch Man.
One Punch Man, yeah, and it's not to say that I've always read when One Punch Man was coming out, I was reading it monthly or whenever it would come out, because it's almost monthly, not really.
Yeah.
So I was reading it monthly, right, and I enjoyed the art back then, but I just like to let the series build up and then I can binge it, and so I reread and binged One Punch Man as the manga version, and oh my god, is it an amazing story. Not only is the art better than any animation that was in season one, in my opinion at least.
I would go so far as to say season 2 as well.
Yeah, the story just got so much better, and you can see that in the anime too, because I know Max wants to make a comparison between season 1 and season 2. And I guess I would like to start off with that.
Okay.
So we can just talk about the animation first, just talk about what everyone else knows, the season 1 and season 2 animation for I think Madhouse. Was there a difference in studio?
Yeah, two different studios took over. Season 1, I think, was Madhouse, right? And
I believe so. That sounds right.
Season 2, I don't know what it was, but you could see there was a major difference in art styles and the way the fight scenes were portrayed.
Well, also don't forget they did get an increased budget, because they didn't because One Punch Man, for those who don't know, was a web comic made by One. He was the one who drew the meme where the artwork,
yeah.
And they weren't expecting it to be as popular as it was. And then when it finally got an anime adaptation, they also weren't expecting it to be that popular. So in between season 1 and season 2, the popularity led to it getting a higher budget, led to it getting taken by a different studio. So Max, continue. What do you like about season 1 specifically?
Specifically, what I really like about season 1 is you could see there's so much passion put into the project. Yeah, they might have had a lower budget than season 2, but you could see every animator, everybody who was directing for season 1, you could tell they really had a passion for the original comic and the original idea behind it. And where I think that really does shine is in two places. One is obviously when they're making the jokes and they go back to kind of how their original the original comic animation was,
yes,
which has me cracking up all the time. And then number 2, which is the complete opposite, when you see the fight scenes, specifically when Genos fights Saitama in that desert.
Oh, the training.
Yeah, the training.
No, it wasn't even training. It was Genos being yo, I want to fight you full throttle. And just the fight animation in that one scene alone had me oh man.
I will say one thing that's completely unrelated. You know my catchphrase that I say often, more speed?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I didn't like One Punch Man, but I saw that scene, and Genos, when he's trying to catch up to Saitama, says more speed, and then his arms and legs turn the ground into lava, and that's where I got my expression more speed. Honestly,
yeah,
that's pretty funny.
But anyway,
that's actually an interesting take, Devin. You say you don't like One Punch Man, and I feel like that's something we should.
I didn't. I didn't.
I didn't. Yeah.
We will. We'll get to it after Max reaches this point.
Yeah. But what I really liked about just the animation in the fights in general was it was so smooth. Every fight was really detailed, and it really just got me really invested because the action was just so smooth, and the transition to each character as they're fighting was really smooth. And it really I think the crowning moment is in the final episode of season 1 when he's fighting like the space pirate king.
Isn't it Boros?
Yeah, Boros. I just call him Space
Boros.
Pirate King because that's what he is. And just watching that fight, that was hype because I actually got to see Saitama fight more than just with one punch, and that was hype.
You know, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because Boros really was just taking L's like repeatedly. Like he went down to each singular punch, but then he had a stronger form, like or not stronger form, but like he was like
regeneration. Yeah, he would regenerate.
So he can take those hits though. But if you want to talk about taking hits though, one of my favorite fight scene, like that's my second favorite fight scene, One Punch Man. My first is the dream sequence with Saitama when he fights the mole people or whatever that come, and the whole dream sequence and fight scene. First of all, 10 out of 10. Like it got me hyped. I was like, oh, let's go. And then like when he wakes up from it, I just started cackling. And then when the mole people show up,
the mole sequence.
He's gone home. This man's ready to go, and he's just like, oh, that's it.
So one thing about season 1 that I will say while we're on like animation and like story and stuff, for whatever reason, I actually don't think every fight is super well animated. Like when he's fighting the Beast People, like it's whatever, Vaccine Man, whatever. The Giant has.
Well, Vaccine Man was like a whole 5 seconds.
But Genos as a character was so well animated compared to almost everything else early on in the show. Like just the way
I think it's because he's supposed to be the main character, or he's supposed to be the gag main character. Like this is the main character that people would have wanted if it wasn't if it wasn't One Punch Man.
That's where all the budget went.
Because he's a cyborg, like the things they can do with him as a character, like he has arc lightning that just follows him because he's so fast. He turns the ground into molten lava. He puts fire at, like he has an afterglow and after image and things like that. I think. Again, the only thing I liked about One Punch Man at first was Genos. And that's why I took his expression more speed. Like, really, Genos is such a strong character, and them using him as a gag really put me off at first.
But it makes sense though with the way the show.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it makes sense. But it grew on me.
For me, I think the fact that putting a character of that archetype in the gag setting, in it, using it for gags like that, works so well because the gag is more than just a gag. Not only does his character taking an L work for the story and propel the story forward, but it forces them to get stronger and we get to see cooler shit. So for me, it's like One Punch Man is like what Dragon Ball Z tries to be, a spectacle of fights and stuff like that. And I think One Punch Man does that way better because it's different types of fighting, it's different types of fighting styles, and it really is a spectacle. I think it wins in the spectacle. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that because in no other anime have I ever rooted for a naked buff guy with angel wings, like, or just a dude with a metal bat. Like,
yes, the dude with the metal bat, or just a zombie versus a vampire, or
the dude with the metal bat. For everyone, his name is Metal Bat.
Yeah, his hero name Metal Bat. So it's literally it's where I think that's One Punch Man's probably biggest strength in my opinion. Where I think this is why even with one's art, it's still. Because you can pass it up. You can pass up some story elements for the fact that you're about to get a really great fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, Garou just survived like this. Genos just got stronger, just got a power buff. But now I'm about to see something really cool happen. So, like, I don't really care. But it even does that part well, is what I'm saying.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you brought up Genos because I do want to talk. Not Genos.
Garou. I think it's I think I'm pronouncing it right. Can someone please tell me? Is Garou? Garou or Garou?
Either. It might be based on a wolf, which would be like Lou Garou, which would be Garou.
Garou.
Yeah, but again, I'm not too sure on that.
Okay.
But either way, Garou versus all of the heroes, like in a gauntlet, very much reminded me of Sasuke versus at the Five Kage Summit, where he fought one boss fight, next boss fight, next boss fight, next boss fight. That was such a hype moment for me.
Yeah.
And the fact that Garou versus all of the heroes was done in a gauntlet style, it gave it gave me Sasuke versus the Five Kage vibes. And
Interesting you say gauntlet style. What do you mean gauntlet style? No, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Or boss rush, if you're more familiar with that expression. It's a term in video games where you're forced to fight one boss, and then immediately after you fight another one, and then immediately after you fight another one.
Oh yeah.
It's like a survival mode. I know that Kirby has it. It's similar to the Elite Four in Pokemon. Things like
Yeah. No. I completely understand now, and you're so right. That type of storytelling is probably is made so well for the shonen type, and I feel like it's very underutilized. The fact that you can just fight one boss fight after the next one, like that's what I'm reading this for. That's what I'm watching this for. You know what I'm saying? And you guys and if you can do it well, so Kishimoto, these kids, they do the choreography well. If you could do the basics of the fighting, the choreography, the strategy, then just give me that, and I might even be able to bypass the fact that it was just a gag. You know what I'm saying? That some things were just a gag.
And, I remember, Max, you and I talked about this at one point. You said something about Garou having better development than some of the main cast.
Well, he is the main cast, isn't he?
Well, but he's not. Let me rephrase. He's like a main anti.
Yeah, you mean Garou, the guy who was the student of the martial arts?
Yeah,
dude, right? Yeah, no, what I really like about how they take his character is that they show his past, though, where he's always the kids yeah, you're the villain or whatever, and he's like, why are the villains considered the bad guys? And he's just keeps going through why the monsters are the bad guys, and he slowly builds this affinity of wanting to be the strongest monster. And what I found really cool about that is it's anybody looking up to a hero being I want to be like the heroes. He's like, no, I want to be a monster. But at the same time, though, you notice that he when it comes to the chance where he can become an actual monster, he's like, nah, I don't want to take this monster pill that will turn me into an actual monster. I'm going to do this myself and be my own monster. And at that moment, I'm like, yo, you do you, man. I like the way you think.
I feel like it's the same way that Luffy says he's going to be a pirate, but
not.
But he's kind of not.
For him, monster means whatever it means to him.
Exactly, yeah.
It means that he's just strong. He is really strong. What I really like, though, is that no matter how strong he gets, he'll never be able to defeat the true monster known as Cape Baldy.
Cape Baldy, this guy. Well, I think okay. So I think I talked to Diego. I think I talked to you about this a little while ago, where I was talking about the potential for Saitama's character, because it's very easy for a character like Saitama to become very boring, very stale, very stagnant.
Yeah.
However, if you notice the subtle nuances in Saitama's characterization, he has a hard time relating to other humans because things come so naturally to him. Things are so easy for him because he doesn't struggle with fights. And the thing that it seems like they're willing to do with it is it'd be a very easy switch for them to make Saitama a final boss type character, where everyone else that we're seeing develop and grow and get stronger has to team up and beat Saitama for whatever reason. Not that he's a malicious person, but just that he's apathetic, and he's looking for a challenge. And every time he's disappointed by a challenger, you see him he's melancholic. And I think that there's a good what's the expression? A good juxtapose between him and King, where King is actually weak versus Saitama, who's actually strong. And I feel like if they did it in a way where King was the one who defeated him in the end, or Genos, or some combination of them.
Well, actually, the thing is, I think what's going on is that Saitama has those type of thoughts, because in season 2, you hear him have a conversation like that with King, right?
Yes.
And he has those type of thoughts like Boros, I think King of Monsters, I'm not sure. Stuff like that. Deep Sea King, right? Yeah, Deep Sea King and stuff. You see him have those type of the same type of thoughts as them, right? Relate to those villains. Yeah. And King he kind of, I would say it would be crazy if I don't think Saitama's ever gonna do it because as long as he has King, he'll always have that
Yes, but I think
human side of him.
I think that's why the juxtapose is so good because King is weak. It's only and King gets called out for fight.
But he's strong. But he's strong in the sense of that he can probably keep Saitama in check.
Yes,
in
but what I'm
ways
saying is
that-
if King dies and Saitama loses that human connection, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like obviously this is a speculation headcanon type thing, but it's very easy for them to make Saitama air quote a villain.
A villain, yeah.
Or not even.
I think
villain.
Genos is gonna become the villain.
I'd be with that too.
I think Genos is more suited for the villain role because I mean one his new attire, his new shit looks villainous. It's fire, but it looks so villainous. Two is that I feel like he's so obsessed with becoming stronger that like
Well, it's
but to speak of one thing though about his obsession with stronger, the one thing I will never forget is like he has like this whole main character like flashback, like talking about how he needs to. What was it, his sister or something? Like it was involved with his sister being killed by an unknown robot, and then like you just have like this whole flashback like a main character would have, and Saitama's just sitting there like neat. And then they just move on. Like they just...
But the thing about Genos, and I know we keep bringing up main character vibes. I'm actually pretty certain. I heard this rumor. I believe it was on Reddit. So I don't know with 100% validity whether or not it's true. However, the rumor is that the writer made Genos the main character, and when he asked his friends whether or not they liked him as the main character, they were like, he's just a robot guy. And so then he wrote Saitama as a parody to actually finish off all the fights, and he just kept Genos as like a secondary main character in the story.
Yeah, and they all like that. Yeah, I think I heard the same thing. I'm not gonna
I think I've heard that. I don't know the validity to that, but again, if that's true, that's hysterical to me.
Because that's what it makes. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense because we're so used to that being the main character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Since we're talking about characters, though, I'd like to bring up one other character, and I know it's a character Devin loves.
Do I?
Moomin Rider.
I don't know that I love Moomin Rider. You love Moomin Rider.
Oh,
I think Moomin Rider's low-key inspirational.
So Moomin Rider, though, is the everyday hero. He's the guy that, like, is normal and trying really hard to not be. But, like, here he is, though, like, trying to do his best and riding his bicycle and crashing into the Deep Sea King and trying to throw hands and then realizing, wait a minute, I'm just the top C-rank hero. I can't throw hands with the Deep Sea King. And then he gets boxed and he's like, yeah, I can defeat you. I don't have to defeat you. I just have to stop you. Where I'm saying they're like, bro, that you're essentially trying the same thing, but like you know who hands.
You know who I do like? The gatekeeper of the A rank.
The one. Really
my god, dude, he is so goated, dude. He's so crazy. It's funny.
Yo, he's hysterical to me because he gives off villain vibes, but he's just like he's more of just an elitist than anything else.
Yeah, he's just an elitist, and it's just so funny how it's that scene. Oh my god, is it like? Can we talk about manga spoilers? We can, of course, right? Yes. We can. Okay, look, that scene where he tells Atomic Samurai's disciples to back away because he's like, I can deal with this. You guys go on ahead. I'll deal with this super quickly. And the reason why he deals with it super quickly is because he's so crazy that he's just gonna kill the people that are mind controlled. Like they were trying to find a way to like. To undo the mind control, and I'm not gonna cap. I was reading that, and I was like, all right, this might be a pretty boring fight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're not mind controlled. Yeah, and I was like, these guys are pretty scummy. Like, there's nothing that makes me want them to not be mind controlled. Like, they were pretty scummy. They bowed down to the king before they were mind controlled. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't want to watch this. And it's like the one knew that. So he's like, all right. We're gonna make this character come in and just kill those guys and give you this epic scene where he's just massacring these people in such a gruesome way. And it's like you see a side to the character that you didn't expect but was always there. You know what I'm saying? You didn't expect it to be that gruesome, but it was
like,
always there.
You expected him to go like, yeah, I don't really care. I thought like when I was first reading it, I was like, okay, he's gonna just seriously injure these people. Like someone's losing an arm, someone's losing a leg. Because up until that point,
I didn't even expect that. I did not even expect that.
Well, I mean, but up until that point, we had our suspicions that he was kind of like wild, and then we had seen other characters like just straight up like decimate other people's bodies.
Yeah.
Like we literally
Yeah,
saw
like Atomic Samurai, like decimated that rhino. You know, like oh my god.
We saw Genos as literally just an upper torso. Like
Yeah.
you know, like so, like I knew something like that could happen, and then when he just starts killing them, I was like,
And you just see like half their eye, half their head missing, half their arms like torn into shreds, and it's like 6 people all dismembered.
You know,
I was like, oh
when
my
I saw
god.
that scene, I'm like, you know what? At least he was efficient.
Yes, and he was efficient with it, so it was like
you know, like,
nothing but drift.
he was so fast, like, and like it was like they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to flex that hard, and the artwork didn't have to be beautiful, but it was.
But it was.
It was.
Oh, yo, speaking of other characters, though, there's one other character I do want to talk about, and it's the rival character of Kate Baldy, and you know, it's what's his name, Supersonic or something?
Oh, Sonic, yeah.
Sonic.
Yo, Sonic has me. I just
Yo,
love
honest,
this
the
character.
funniest. That was the funny. I think the funniest thing in One Punch Man was when he cooked the pill, the monster pill, and then that caused him to give him diarrhea, and he thinks he's a monster now. He thought that was what he had to go through. That was funny. He was like, I'm obviously not going to eat this raw. I was saying that earlier. I was like, wow, like when I first saw someone eat the monster pill, I was like, damn, like this is pretty ugly to eat. I don't think I'd be able to eat it. It's like the burrito.
I love those, like the first season specifically, how they do him, because they do him dirty so many times.
He literally beats himself every time.
Yo, but the best thing when
Yeah.
Dynamo just puts his fist up and just straight up ends.
Yeah, he misses the leg, and it's literally just a nut shot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's just
Sonic.
every time he shows up on
Sonic's pretty
screen,
goated.
I'm gonna, like you're saying, I'm gonna get some good action out of it, but it's always gonna. I always know it's gonna be some sort of really nice payoff for me to.
I have to say, like other than the gag, because like again, I'm not.
No, but Sonic versus Genos.
That
was great.
That was
But
great,
like
but-
what I was gonna say is I'm not the biggest fan of like just gag anime things. Like truthfully, like if you notice, like from anyone watching, like if they've seen our past videos, like gag anime and gag anime moments bother me most of the time.
Okay. I could kind of agree if it's like super tropey gags. But I feel like
yeah, like Jiraiya's character bothers me because he's just a pervert. Like it bothers, like.
And I can kind of agree with you, but to me, there's just some gags that.
Whereas Kashin Koji from this is a side note, Kashin Koji, who is a Jiraiya clone and he's evil, is a great character in my opinion. It's literally everything Jiraiya is, just without the pervert.
Well, you see, Devin, I'm a much simpler person. I like to laugh and like to be
hold
like,
on.
haha, funny.
But the point I was getting to was
It's not that you don't laugh in anime. It's
yeah,
just that-
I laugh at anime and I do like certain gags get me to chuckle. They're funny.
Yeah.
But when they're done just for the sake of being a gag, I don't like it. But I will say Sonic versus Deep Sea King started out as a gag and then it just kind of like took off. Like it was a speed battle. And that's interesting to me all the time because Sonic is like, oh, I could run Mach 1. And the Deep Sea King is like, yeah, unlucky for you, it's raining. I was like, oh.
Yeah, when he also
the character interactions are done so well. Like it makes you interested about what's going on. Like like you see Zombie Man and you're like, well, I guess all right. I guess another one of One Punch Man's probably biggest strength, which is that One Punch Man or Saitama isn't actually the main character. Like he doesn't actually have a lot of screen time. I feel like the screen time is shared amongst the entire S class and A class, hero list and monsters, So like Garu and
has more screen time than Saitama. That's a fact.
Yeah, exactly. Genos,
Absolutely, yep.
Genos, Metal Bat, Zombie Man, yeah, they all have like their own arcs. Oh my god, wait, what was it? Emperor?
Yes,
Child's Emperor's whole arc, dude. He put in the most work out of every hero. F Saitama. Saitama might have beat the king, but he did not put in nowhere near as much work as Child's Emperor. They got to deal with a brat this entire time while he was fighting a phoenix that got stronger every time he killed him. He killed him like 3 times, and he was like, oh my god, now he's gonna get stronger. It's like,
Just saying though, 10 out of 10 villain. Love this power.
Phoenix costume, the guy that was stuck in his Phoenix costume.
Yeah,
that was super ridiculous, but like Child's Emperor carried that fight. Like I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
We can't talk about excellent villains without mentioning Vaccine Man as a joke, and then Cockroach Man.
Cockroach Man, dude. The way, alright, so we say One Punch Man fights are really good, right? And I feel like a lot of the popularity was that the animation was done so well, but I feel like the choreography above all else is what makes it so the animation can be that good. Because while you're I think One Punch Man's choreography is like probably like top 5 in manga. Probably. It has to be.
It's definitely high.
This guy is a cockroach man. And like, I look at him moving around and I'm like, this is exactly how a cockroach would move if he was a man. And I was like, or if a man, how a man would move if he had the powers of a cockroach. I was like, this is exactly how he would move.
1 second. I'm going to give a 10-minute warning. 10-minute warning, and then we're gonna have to wrap up. And I'm gonna give I'm gonna give you a count in, and you were saying this is exactly how a cockroach would move.
Okay.
Ready? All right. 3, 2, 1.
This is like he drew that fight exactly how a cockroach would move in a fight, and it was so well done. And I mean, he was later like eaten, but it was like damn. Like I expected higher things. I thought he was gonna eat the monster cell and become stronger, and then something was gonna happen.
Like I think alongside what you said about choreography, the dog hero who's literally just a dude who's a black belt who dresses like a dog.
Yeah. Wait, he didn't do that to black belt? I thought he was just a dude that dressed like a dog.
He's a black belt. There was like a passing line or something like that, and he only guards one place.
Yeah. It's like if you lived in the One Punch Man world and you lived in the city with a dog, you would be safe. You'd be completely safe. Or if you were Saitama's friend. Like those are the only 2 ways to be safe.
Who is the pig guy who has a black hole inside of him or something like that?
Oh, Pig God?
Yeah. So Pig God.
That is such a great power, dude.
That's what I'm saying. All of the power interactions of all of these characters are so interesting because some of the powers just they're so weird. Like they're almost as unique as Hunter x Hunter or One Piece. And they interact with each other in such a way where it's like, aside from Saitama, you don't know who's gonna win.
Yeah. So it's like the power system itself, like Zombie Man versus Vampire, is like the power system in One Punch Man. The fact that it can just be anything helps it so well. Like it sucks that it's not as intricate, but it's kind of like.
I think the one downside is that most of the S rank heroes are just strong men.
Not even just strong men. It's just
like there's strong guy with bat. There's strong guy with the sword. There's strong man who can't die.
There's strong prisoner. Strong black dude.
Don't call him strong prisoner.
Bald black dude.
There's strong naked guy. There's strong bodybuilder guy that's bald. Like you either are bald or really buff. I figure. Like if you're
his name is Pretty Prisoner, right? That's like his prisoner is.
I will say though. The one thing that has me dying every time I watch anything Pretty Prisoner is when this man rolled up saying, I have activated my angel form.
The power system. Talk about the power system. His hair, he grows hair and it like deflects bullets and stuff. That is so...
Metal Bat gets stronger the more hits he tanks.
The more pumped up he gets. And then Garu was able to use that. He also gets pumped up. Like, what is Garu's ability? Because it's just...
Garu's ability is...
I love Garu. Garu's my favorite character, for those of you guys that don't know.
I agree. Same.
I mean, one last note I would like to say is, you know how, like, Dragon Ball Z has power levels, One Piece has bounties and stuff like that? And Bleach has, like, spiritual pressure? Can we talk about the disaster levels for
Okay,
One Punch
so
Man?
so
I
yes,
feel like
but hold on.
that.
Before you start on that, I actually want to talk about the hero ranking system
Oh, okay,
because
yeah, we should definitely.
I think it's super important because it goes by cases solved and that you have to prove that you solve them because a lot of Saitama's cases that he solves go to other heroes and he's still like a C rank hero. So the
No,
fact
he's
of the
B
matter is,
now.
well, yeah, but the fact that he's the strongest, like factually the strongest hero and not the highest rated hero goes to show that it's not a perfect system, and that shows so much flexibility in the rankings of the heroes.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah, and then how the number one hero is never shows up at all. Like he might just not even exist. Like
exactly. He hasn't done anything in so long. He might be dead for all we know.
but he's still the number one. Just
Exactly.
like
And
that's stupid. That's just.
but yeah, you guys, I want to hear what you guys think about the levels.
Oh yeah, okay. So to even pop off the off the ranking heroes is the disaster levels are done so well. I feel like the moment I hear dragon level, god level, demon level, I instantly understand the threat level. I was like, all right, like a couple blocks. Wait, I actually don't know the entire system, but I know the top. So hold up, let me just look it up. One.
So while you're looking it up, I'd like to say what I like about the hero ranking system, if that's
Please.
cool.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. What I really just like about the hero ranking system is that there's two parts to it. There's the popularity poll, which I love. That doesn't affect anything, but like apparently all the heroes care about, especially Saitama, which 10 out of 10. First of all, Cape Baldy, not going to do it, man, for the popularity poll, but here we are. And first of all, second of all, love that his name is Cape Baldy still. Just.
And I love how he's not even the most popular character in his series or in real. You know what I'm saying?
He's not supposed to be, just how he is.
Yeah.
But I like how like they have like that system, which has no implications, mind you, where your hero ranking is, which I think makes sense. And now if Endeavor was in this role for my hero, this man would be the number one hero. All might be number two at that point. Because
he would not be the number one hero.
Yes, he would.
Yeah,
I would not believe that.
If you look at all of the people in the S rank, Endeavor would be up there. Wait, do you mean power level or do you mean popularity wise?
I'm talking about in terms of just like hero ranking system. If we were to take that, for instance, that hero ranking system.
Well, I mean, technically, Endeavor's the number one hero, even while All Might is active, because they base it on charisma for no reason.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying though, because if we base it in the One Punch Man universe, Endeavor would be number one. All Might would be number one in the popularity polls. He got that, but Endeavor in the actual hero ranking system would have been number one. And what I like about it though is there's two actual systems put into place.
The reason I don't agree with that is because we still have what's the number one hero in One Punch Man's name? Blade. What's his name?
He's Max isn't talking about power. It's important to note.
Max I'm not even talking about power.
If they brought their rescue stats from the My Hero universe and brought them into this, that's what he's saying.
Do they even have rescue stats in the One Punch Man verse?
No. Well, not really. They don't.
Well, it's based off your career. That's what.
They don't.
That's how your ranking is.
Yeah.
And the way what I like though is that it's actually just how any other job would be. It's like, all right, how good are you at your job? And that's how we're going to keep ranking you and moving you up. The tougher challenges you take on, the tougher villains you beat, and the more that you do it solo, is the higher we're going to put you up on this ladder. And I kind of like that. It's a realistic system that I like that's actually implemented that's kind of mirrors the real world to a very high degree.
All right. This is the 2.5 minute warning. So, Diego.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I looked up the disaster levels, and there's actually 5. There's Wolf, Tiger, Demon, Dragon, and God. And when you're looking at these disaster levels, like you start to get a sense as you're reading it. Like when you hear it, you can actually see like, oh, dragon means like an entire city is about to might actually be blown up. You know what I'm saying? So like now you actually understand when the civilians hear dragon, they're like, oh my god, like you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta evacuate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When they hear demon, they're like, okay, a couple blocks down, like you know, like. There's like a terrorist act happening or something.
They hear God and they think the world's gonna end. Like
yeah, exactly. God's like the world's ending. Like you know what I'm saying. So it's like
if I hear God, I'm just chilling. I ain't even moving.
And it's portrayed so well too within because when you see them, it's like you actually see the devastation. It's like the One Punch Man world has like an infinite level amount of buildings generated just for these monsters to destroy because
Yo.
they destroy so much.
If you hear God level, you about to meet him.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like the scale is shown so well. It's done so well.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. So
Like you can actually like well, and then here's the thing. This is the last thing I'll say.
Okay.
As to why the disaster level is so good is that I feel like I can put that into I can fit it into our world or into the My Hero world or into any other verse very well because the scale shown and drawn is drawn so well that it's like, you know, you can clearly see how strong these opponents are.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I'll say about the disaster level.
Okay. And, Max, any final thoughts on?
Yeah, no, my final thoughts really on One Punch Man. It's a great anime, whether you're a avid anime watcher or somebody who's just getting into anime. I more recommend it for somebody who's starting to get into anime though, because it's funny. It kind of has like the spirit of what anime is about, and you'll get attached to it real fast. I know a lot of beginners
I would recommend it.
watch the anime, like watch One Punch Man as their first show, and it gets them into watching other shows. Granted, it's other casual anime, but at least they started watching and have something to talk about.
So I'm gonna ask both of you, rate the manga 1 to 10, and then rate the anime 1 to 10.
Manga,
Oh, boy.
9 out of 10. Manga is 9 out of 10, hands down. Anime, I give it an 8 out of 10, mostly because first season loved, but second season for me just didn't have that same kind of feel for me in the second season.
I'm actually the opposite of that. I think the second season felt I liked that more than the first season. But for my rating for the manga, definitely a 9 out of 10. I agree with that. And then the anime, I give it a 7.5 because One Punch Man is definitely going to be one of those anime that's not for everyone. Because again, I was turned off at first.
Isn't all anime not for everyone?
Correct, but it took me being bored to even start it.
But he's saying for less people.
Correct. Yeah. And Diego, your rating?
My ratings, I don't really like to rate stuff, but if I had to, gun to my head, Devin's putting a gun to my head. If I had to rate, all right, anime. I would say I would give it an 8 out of 10. I didn't watch season 2 though, because that's when I started reading the manga a lot more. I was like, I'm gonna just focus on the manga after I watched the first season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it an 8 out of 10 anime for season 1 at least, not counting season 2. And then for manga, honestly, I want to give it a 10 out of 10, just out of pure biasness.
I mean, you can. If that's genuine rating, I said 9.
But I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 just because there's one thing I'm missing, and that's just attachment. There's nothing that keeps me going back. Like I'll just binge it. I'll forget about One Punch Man for like I'll forget about One Punch Man for like years, and then I'll come back to it, and then it'll versus something that just becomes part of your daily routine or something. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Luckily for you, Years is only 13 chapters, so I mean, no, I'm kidding.
At least the Years is 13 chapters for him. For Berserk, Years is like 3.
Oh my god, yo!
All right, guys.
Years 13. That's
all right, guys. So on that note, we've been Baka Burrito. I'm Devin.
I'm Diego.
And I'm Max.
If you agree with us about One Punch Man being an underrated gem, leave a comment down below. If you disagree, leave a comment down below. Go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.